Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. That is Jack. I am Conrad, and this is the 45, a look at the upcoming UEFA Champions League group stages. Right now, we'll take a look at Group B, headed by Real Madrid, also featuring Shakhtar Donetsk, Inter Milan, and Borussia Monchengladbach. This is the all consonants and vowels and lots of letters in these names. But much like the last group, we talked about Group A, Real Madrid, it's like, have they exhausted what they can do with their existing personnel? They lost a lot of talent. We'll touch on that. And Inter, on the other hand, they're bringing in a lot of groups, and they've got Conte, who's a very experienced manager in Europe.
Yeah, I think this is a very exciting group. Unlike A, where you have a beat-up squad in Lokomotiv Moscow, the Ukrainian counterparts, Shakhtar Donetsk, that's not a beat-up team. They have been in the Champions League for many, many years. They are constantly a competitive team. I'm not going to say they're a successful team, but they've been very competitive. So, especially with Monchengladbach, another up-and-coming team who finished very well in the Bundesliga last season, there's reason for a lot of optimism in this group.
First up, Real Madrid. So the question we've got here in the lower third is Zidane got more magic that he can conjure with this Madrid side? I don't think so. They scored 70 goals, conceded 25 last year. First overall, losing to Man City in the round of 16. Not a lot of people brought in, but look at the exodus, and we've only got room for 3 up here.
Yeah, they definitely have offset a lot of guys. Now, then again, if you look at that list, it includes Gareth Bale and Oscar Rodriguez as well. How many of those guys are week in, week out starters? Yeah, I'd say none of them. 2 of them were out on loan last season, in Hakimi and Reguilón, as well as James Rodriguez 2 years back. So I think that it just shows the depth that they've had at that club, and they wanted to make some money and try and do some things. So in my head, I kind of imagine Real Madrid as a club who are waiting 12 months' time for when they can go sign Kylian Mbappe in 2021 and make another Galactico signing. And I think that I think they're a bit past where their peak was, and with Ramos and Marcelo and Casemiro, Kroos, and Modric are still a great midfield trio. But again, they've been pushing for so long. Questions of can they keep it going, or have they passed their expiration date?
8% chance of winning the overall Champions League title. Certainly one of the favorites to get out of the group stage. Next up, Shakhtar Donetsk, Ukrainian side. Champions there, third in their group stage last year. As you said, perennially in the Champions League, but don't often do all that much. Part of the reason why is they brought in nobody and they sold nobody.
Yeah, they are very consistent with their side, and they don't have their constant partner in the Champions League, Manchester City, anymore. Unfortunately, both of them being in pot 2 meant that they could not reunite yet again in the Champions League group stages. They have some new competition this time. I think it's, again, a case of, I think they're just another long trip, like we mentioned, with the issue with Moscow. And so I think that they're probably 4th best in this group, which is weird considering they're a pot 2 side. But they're dominant in Ukraine, just, I think, a bit off the pace in the Champions League, especially in a group as highly competitive as this one. That being said, though, considering how highly competitive it is, if you get a few good results, a lower point total may be good enough to try and get through, considering there may be a lot of exchanging of points from all 4 sides.
Next up, Inter, probably the best of pot 3 teams here. They were second in Serie A, scored 81, conceded 36, so pretty good on the offensive side, good goal differential. Finalists in the Europa League, they did lose to Sevilla. They've brought in a bunch of talent, and they've also let go of a few people, but good chance of getting through. Not much of a shot at winning the overall title.
Yeah, we both like Antonio Conte a lot, and I think we both like the project he's building at Inter a lot. Those are some very good transfers that you see right there. Hakimi, I think, is a great one for the long term. Barea, a great one for the long term. Even Sensi, he's a bit older, he's 25. He's still a good one for the long term. They've brought in a lot of key talent, and with Lukaku and Martinez and another European run last season in the Europa League after getting knocked out of the Champions League, I think they've got a lot of experience to try and push on this season and make a big, big impact this season.
Curious to see what Alexis Sanchez does for them in Europe. You know, obviously a forgotten man in the Premier League, but giving a new lease on life with Conte in Italy. Next up, last in this group, Borussia Monchengladbach, 4th in the Bundesliga. Overall, they bring in the American Joe Scally from New York City Football Club. 35% chance to qualify, which is really good for a 4th pot team.
Yeah, I think
shows you the parity in this group.
Exactly. You mentioned Inter as the best of pot 3 teams. You can make an argument Monchengladbach is the best pot 4 team. So this is going to be a very exciting group. I think there's no week where there's going to be a poor matchup. even if it's Monchengladbach, Shakhtar, that's a good match, and then you still got Madrid, Inter Milan. So this is going to be a very exciting group to watch. Neither of us believe that Monchengladbach or Shakhtar have it in them to make it out of the group, but I think there's a reason for optimism. That 35% from 538 is reason for that it's still a wide open group, potentially, should the matches be really high parity, like it could possibly be.
Well, I think part of it, I mean, we've both got the exact same rundown here. Inter at top, and then Mönchengladbach in third. I think that's really a byproduct of them playing better competition week in, week out in the Bundesliga against Shakhtar, really not having the same level of competition.
Definitely agree.
Well, that'll do it for us for Group B. Jack, Conrad, this has been the 45 look at upcoming UEFA Champions League fixtures. Please do like, subscribe, give us some comments, tell us what you think, and as always, look for us on the Twitter at the 45. Take care now.